I don't have very many jokes. I've got one here. I'm gonna assume you're all gonna laugh at. Why did the couple stop going to the gym? It just wasn't working out. Gosh, that's hard to do. With no response from anyone at all. I'm gonna assume there's tremendous amount of laughter happening right now. Okay. Thank you. Someone just chimed in on the chat that said it was a good one. That really actually, that's turning my tide right now. So thank you. All right. Well, we are, sorry to break the fourth wall here. Trilogy team, I think I'm good to go. So we're at 11 o'clock local time, top of the hour. So thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Ben Kaiholtz. I work with Blue Star Resort and Golf. We are Trilogy's hospitality partner. I've worked with and around Trilogy since 2001, and I wear a few hats here, one of which is spending a lot of time helping us to define and execute our wellness programs across the country. I'm really excited to be here today. I'm joined by my colleague, Sarah Rainey. I think probably most of you are seeing her on her screen as well. Hello, Sarah. We'll talk a little bit to her, a little bit more with her a little bit later this morning, but excited to have the two of us here. Look, I will preface this by saying I'm a true believer. I love what Trilogy does. I go into our communities. I see people feeling happier. I see them looking healthier. I see them excited about the life they've chosen to live. So if I get just a little too amped up or start talking a little too quickly or just go really quickly at some spots, it's only out of a genuine excitement. I really am, I feel blessed to have had the opportunity to work with these communities for really my entire career. I feel really blessed to work for such a great company. And I feel really blessed to be around people who genuinely seem to enjoy the choice they've made in their lives. So I think many of you are kind of considering whether this is the right fit for you, and hopefully today's content helps to answer some of those questions. So without further ado, I will go in and start walking through our content for today, which is designed to be, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes-ish of time where Sarah and I will present some information to you, and then we'll have plenty of time for question and answer along the way. There is both a Zoom chat that is open that I can see. If I look to my left, it's only because I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the chat function there. There's also a question and answer function that I believe that's activated within the Zoom. I think the easiest to use for folks is chat. So if you have a question, Sarah and a couple of other colleagues of mine are monitoring that. And if it makes sense to stop and dive into those questions, we will as we're going along in the deck. Otherwise, we will have plenty of time at the end. We'll make sure we circle back with as many questions as we can. So without further ado, again, to kind of provide some framing for how the kind of Blue Star and Trilogy relationship works and why, you know, a person from Blue Star is here talking about the Trilogy Wellness. Blue Star was a company that was formed by the Shea family for the specific intent of creating the lifestyle experiences within Trilogy. Our responsibility is to take these amazing amenities that are developed within the communities and make sure we are meeting the lifestyle promise that we make during the home buying process. So when we say, hey, look, living here can help you feel happier and healthier and connect with more people and make more friends, Blue Star's responsibility is to make sure that happens via programming and, you know, amazing restaurants and what we'll talk about today with our wellness. I'm very pleased that Trilogy often references us as their kind of magic or their secret sauce. We work with Trilogy across the country, so currently active in, I believe, 15 communities, 7 states, Washington, California, Nevada, Arizona, Virginia, North Carolina, and Florida. We have a team that is, we have leaders at each of the communities that play a fitness and wellness role within our group. And we also have a collection of a combination of central services team members that are here with me in Scottsdale, as well as consultants and kind of super users at the community level. So for example, and we'll talk a little bit more about each of these folks later. Sarah's going to give a little deeper dive into each of them, but we have Dr. Amy Whittington, who's based at Trilogy of Estancia. She's been our naturopath in residence for 10 plus years there. She produces and hosts video conferences with members from across the country each month. She produces a newsletter each month. She hosts forums. She's got a full-time website within mytrilogylife.com, which is our community site. And she is got her doctorate in naturopathic medicine and is a GP here in Arizona. We have Dr. Sophie Lorne, who's based in Trilogy of the Vineyards, which is our community in one of our communities in Northern California. She also hosts, and Sarah will talk a little bit more about this later, interactive sessions among members across the country, as well as doing individual consultations within the community there in Northern California. Jessica Bowling is our wellness director at Trilogy at Lake Frederick. Jessica's got substantial background in specifically health and fitness around aging. So she has both a kind of a clinical background as well as her traditional fitness background. So her perspective and expertise is really helpful. And then Sarah is here in my office. You'll spend a little time with Sarah in a few minutes. And then I was a founding member of Blue Star Resort and Golf when we started our company in 2005. I have both a personal passion for health and wellness, as well as some education in the area as well. And then we're really fortunate. We have amazingly talented and engaged and active people within our communities. I'm looking around here. I see Billy down in the pool shot is Billy down at Trilogy Orlando. I see Cara here in the bottom middle at Trilogy at Verde River in Arizona. I see Melanie here at Encantera in Arizona. I see Suhei on the bike in Southern California. I can see Jill over in North Carolina. So across the country, we have really amazing people that are helping us develop our programming and what we produce. So I think from a contextualization standpoint, it's probably best for us to talk about really when we say wellness, it's becoming a more and more kind of generically used term. How do we define it? How do we then bring it to life in our communities? And then how can we confirm that what we're doing is working? So we'll walk through each of those areas. So we'll start with defining wellness. So I think the worst version of defining wellness is just using wellness as a direct synonym for fitness. That's not how we view wellness. We really view wellness as a 5-component piece of really your overall well-being. So that includes a component of physical fitness. That includes intellectual enrichment. That includes social connection, emotional confidence, and spiritual well-being. And we also view, and I'll talk about each of those in a second and how we kind of bring those to life. I think, the other thing we view wellness at is a quality or state of being in good health, but it's as an actively sought goal. So wellness is something that is very knowledgeably and very thoughtfully pursued. When we talk about physical fitness, and a lot of these are very helpful as we work to onboard new team members in our individual communities and make sure that they are delivering, the promises we're making to people who are moving into the communities. So you'll see a lot of these structures of, okay, well, we have the 5 areas, intellectual enrichment, social connection, physical fitness, et cetera. And then within each of those areas, we break those down further. So we make sure that we have programming in place to support each of them. So for example, within physical fitness, we talk a lot about nutrition, mobility, endurance, strength, and health. So with our job being to create environments that help our members feel better today than they felt yesterday and better tomorrow than they feel today. And, I think one of the ways we can illustrate that is, the simplest version of, say, physical fitness is, classes and programming and availability of amenities. So of course, in all of our Trilogy communities, we do have amazing fitness areas. Generally, those are configured to have a strength and conditioning area, a movement area, and some adjacent outdoor space that can be used for either one. Each individual club is a little bit different, and whichever community you're looking at, our teams can give you a tour through to show that. but that is a general structure. We generally have a balance as it relates to classes, and I think I can actually toggle over here and show some of this. If I just pulled up Trilogy at the Polo Club. This is our community in one of our communities in Southern California. You can kind of see what I did here this is the members only website. So if you were a member at Trilogy, you would be in the Polo Club and you could go into events, and all I did was sort by fitness and health. So I can see all the fitness and health events that are happening. And so this is just a typical day. So let me toggle this on and toggle this off. I'll filter by the fitness and health. And you can see that today's Thursday, August 20th. We had pickleball courts available in the morning. We had the lap pool available for reservations throughout the day, tennis courts available for reservations. Then we have, actually there's some COVID things we're doing here. So we've set up indoor, outdoor weight and conditioning areas within the area where people can reserve weight equipment, treadmill, and elliptical. And then you have a whole litany of different types of classes. Cardio water works, chair balance and strength. And you can see this each day. Dance combo water. We have a lot of water happening right now because we don't have as much access to the indoor fitness areas we normally would because of what's happening due to COVID. 1 minute to spin it, etc. So I just wanted to pull that up to show that we talk about programming and it's really happening regardless of conditions and every day in a whole bunch of different ways. The next component we look at as it relates to health and wellness is intellectual enrichment. And we try to support that via paths to lifelong learning and also maintaining mental dexterity. Look, we know and research has continually shown that cognitive health and physical health are intertwined. So the more acute you can keep the mind, the better health you tend to be in, the stronger you can keep the body, the more mentally acute you can tend to be. So this is a combination. We have lecture series, we have art classes, we do puzzles and watercolors, and I mean, just a whole world of things that happen within each of the communities. That's a combination of things that we produce from our club teams, as well as what our member-led clubs show interest in. So, for example, we do in our communities on Fridays have what we call Piece It Together Fridays, where we put out a jigsaw puzzle and just kind of spend the day messing around and trying to complete it by the end of the day. At the same time, there are book clubs and, people doing offsite excursions on their own to local museums, et cetera, all of which we kind of try to facilitate through our team. The third component, and the one where, there is a component of fun, but there's a real kind of underlying wellness related importance to this, which is social connection. So we want to facilitate social engagement. We want to provide a space for positive peer groups. We want to create opportunities for exploration. We're learning right now in a very real way that humans aren't meant to be isolated. We need relationships in the same way we need food and air and water. And one of the really amazing things communities like Trilogy provide is an opportunity to connect with others that share similar interests, motivations, and priorities. So, I think there's a lot of things that our members tend to find rewarding and tend to find rewarding very early into the experience of living within Trilogy. The refrain we hear most frequently is, oh my gosh, I've made more friends since I moved in here, insert week, month, 2 months ago than I had made in 20 years before. And I think, this time of a lot of opportunity for self-reflection, I think that people are starting to recognize that the times when we have said we've had a great time doing something, be it a cocktail party or a vacation or a dinner out or whatever, usually the things that make those most memorable are the fact that we made a new friend or relationship doing that. That cocktail party was great because I met this person, or that trip we went on was amazing because we made these friends. And the ability to provide that on a daily basis within the communities is something it's really what, when I'm kind of trying to describe this, and again, like I say, I believe in what we're doing. I find this to be the one part that's most impactful, and it is a really critical component of wellness. Equally important, and something that I think is coming forward now in some of the times we're having, is what we call emotional confidence. So that's providing an environment where people can feel assured in themselves. They can feel confident and open to trying new things. And we can all together have a respect for the importance of kindness. We know we need others around us, and that means they probably need us too. We have to have environments where people can then flourish in their own unique ways. One of the things, I mean, look, there's a million examples here of the ways our members treat one another kindly. One of my favorites is Sarah, who you'll meet here in a second. She, a few years ago, there's Good Neighbor Month is September. So for Good Neighbor Month, what she created was these gratitude boards. And I hope you can see it here on this. Oops, I didn't just lose my screen, did I? Okay, sorry for the technical there, team. So hopefully everyone on the call can see that this is the gratitude board. And what we've done is, at the entry to our clubs during Good Neighbor Month, we just ask our members to come up and tell us what they are grateful for in their life or in their neighborhood or among their friends. And what we see is just this amazing collection of people doing I am thankful for my neighbor John who has done this, or I am thankful for these connections that I've made. It's really, you can see like the board kind of starts and there's one or two people on there, and then before you know it, the entire thing is full. It's a really
hey Ben,
yeah,
can you share your screen again?
Oh, did we lose the connection? Thank you, Cass.
Yeah, no problem.
Let me everyone on the Zoom, forgive me here. I'm going to figure out what happened there. I don't actually know why that happened, Cass. So, and I'm not readily seeing my option to do that. Shoot, Cass, hold on here. Tell me we're back in the game.
We're back in the game.
We're back in the game, Ben.
That's awesome. I guess I need another joke. I don't know. Chuck Norris goes to the gym. The weights sweat. Okay, sorry. Okay, anybody who's in that Chuck Norris series of jokes. Okay. The final piece as we kind of move from emotional confidence is another one that we find incredibly important, which is spiritual well-being. So we want to have environments where we have a respect for diversity. We want to support people's individual journeys, and we want a safe place for introspection. I mean, some people are really great at drawing energy from crowds. Some kind of derive their strength through contemplation. We want to be able to provide opportunities for both. So, I mean, the simplest version of that is through programming, whether it's, making sure that we might have super active, super assertive classes, as well as really opportunities for Tai Chi or yoga or things where it's more of a, internal connection to yourself. That's also through, creating spaces where there is privacy and there is, an ability to connect with nature, by it through trails, trail system, or through even just on the club campus to have quiet places for self-reflection. And then obviously trying to help people connect with others that are on a similar point in their path. So again, the 5 components of physical fitness, intellectual enrichment, social connection, emotional confidence, and spiritual well-being. These are kind of the language we use within our own teams to develop and implement the programming. We promise to try to help people live, ultimately our goal is to create environments where people have the best opportunity to live the best possible version of their life. And it's awesome because that really happens very, very, very frequently. So, I mean, there's a few little snippets here, but I mean, to get to 6 photos on this slide, we chose from thousands. I mean, it's just, there's so many examples of people, really taking advantage of that best opportunity to live that best possible version of their life. Sarah, I'm having a little tech here where I don't see you, but I hope that everyone else sees you, and I'm going to introduce you properly right now, because I would love you to walk through how we do what we do. And in doing that, we transition to Sarah, I think it's really important. I want to bring up a few things. So Sarah Rainey's been with our group for a little more than a decade now. She comes from a hospitality background, but also just in addition to her kind of bona fides professionally, her heart is like 3 sizes too big. She cares so much about what she does and what we are trying to do. You know, I kind of call myself a true believer. She's a true believer as well. Her combination of brain, heart, and effort are unmatched. They inspire our local teams to be the best they can be. And when we're being the best we can be and they're being the best they can be, it really creates environments where we just have so much opportunity to deliver what we promise we're going to do. So I don't know if I can be complimentary enough in my introduction of Sarah, so I'll just stop talking. But we love you, Sarah. So I will pass it to you, and you just let me know when to advance.
Thank you, Ben, very, very much. I know a couple of you could not see me in the beginning, but I hope that you can now, because I can see me. So nothing like a little pressure and a little technology that goes a long way with all of us. So thanks for bearing with us today. Ben, thank you so much for the introduction. You know, I have been with our group for a while, and, you know, one of the things that I'm really, really proud of is how our team has really come together. And the section that I'm going to share with you right now is, you know, how we do this on a daily basis for our members and the passion that we have for our members. And, you know, what we do is really, this is in addition to all of the things that Ben has already been sharing with you on wellness. So I really want to walk through just several of the components and some of the programs that I've been involved in and starting, and just how we've seen our members flourish and grow. So Ben, if you can click over to the next slide, there we go. Dr. Amy has actually been with our group now. She's a consultant for us. I mean, she's been with our group for 14 plus years. She just does a tremendous job for us on so many different fronts. And first of all, she's just a wonderful, lovely person, but she really takes pride in helping our members live their best life. I know it sounds a little cliche-ish, but she's really vested in this. She has done a lot of work here in Arizona at several of our locations, but right now, she's primarily focused at Trilogy at Vistancia, where she actually has a practice there and is involved at least 5 days a week with our membership. So she does everything from individual consultations, she'll do B12 injections, certainly help you with supplements and nutrition, but she really wants to help you find a natural approach to the best you can possibly be. So in addition to that, she publishes a monthly wellness journal for us that's available to all of our members. And I went back through and counted, and we have over 150 of her documents that we have in our archives. So those are always available for our members. And then she also does live streams for us, where she's out there with our communities, involved in topics that are very important to them. And we broadcast that across our Trilogy network. So while she's based here in Arizona, we leverage a technology that allows her to engage with our members across all of our Trilogies. And we find a lot of value in that. And even during these unusual times, Dr. Amy is available, although not her preference to do telemedicine, because she'd really rather see you and talk to you and meet you and read your body language, but she will do telemedicine for us currently in the state of Arizona. Again, she has made that available even to people who may be in Arizona that don't feel comfortable coming out of their homes. So Dr. Amy she and I have worked together for a long time, and she's really a true professional at what she does. So next on our consulting list, we have Dr. Sophie Lorne. And Dr. Sophie has been with us now for several years. She's based out of Club Los Maganos in Brentwood, California. And she is really great at really helping people understand the why behind everything. So you may come in and have an appointment with her, and maybe your symptom is X. She'll help you get to the place of understanding what has caused the symptom and how do you overcome it, whether it's through diet, nutrition, exercise. She just really, again, she's one of our two very valuable people on our team that really helps you understand just how to be really great, because we all have gone through different phases in our lives and different stress levels, but both of these women are really, really dedicated to our members, and that's their passion in life. So I give them both a tremendous amount of credit. Dr. Sophie also does live streams for us. So she is also providing not only consultations at her location, she will also do telemedicine for you as well. And Ben is demonstrating here just a quick look at our live streams that we've had. This month happens to be Focus on Fitness, which I'll get to, but the other thing we do with our live streams is we post them out though, so that our members, if you can't be there in person, we record everything so that you can go back and watch it at your leisure. And I know, again, we've had to adjust just like everybody else has had to with the way that we do business during these unusual times, and also state to state is different. So we've really embraced that opportunity to really help our members stay engaged and be their best selves as well, even though it might be from a different location that we're not used to. So this is one of my personal favorites. It's called Gate to Gate. And I say this is really helping us take a step in the right direction, not only every day, but also this particular program we put out. It goes through the entire month of November. We always started on November the 1st, which happens to be a special day in my life. It's my birthday. And I say every day I go out to our communities on November the 1st and I walk with our members. So when we originally put this together, we were thinking, there'll be a really high adopter rate because it really is open to everyone. So I walk sometimes toward the end of the pack. The first year I went because I wasn't quite as fast as some of the other walkers that are a little bit more well-conditioned than I was. But the ultimate goal for us is getting as many people involved as we can and creating activities and events toward the wellness goal. And so last year we had over 2,000 of our members that walked and logged over 220,000 miles. And here's some social proof on the left-hand side of your screen for you. You can see Trilogy Orlando. They had, I want to say at that particular community, 250 members that were registered. And as you can see, Billy does a great job of bringing her members together and celebrating. And she's one of our great fitness leaders in our group as well. Ben alluded to her a little bit early, teaching a water aerobics class. So she's very, very hands-on. Center picture happens to be a group that I was walking with out here in Arizona. And this was our day one. We do an inaugural walk, getting everybody motivated to go. The ability to track your steps happens online as a member. And then we also do a closing walk where we celebrate how many miles everybody has walked, not only individually, but as a group. And then we had, in the bottom picture there is our group from Tahale, Washington. So we're really, really excited about this program, and our members are already asking us, how are we going to do this year? And we'll find a way, don't worry. We're really, really great at that. So here's just kind of an example of how you can register online and, get involved. And the great thing about all of our programs is we have this fantastic website that Ben alluded to a little bit when he showed you the event calendar. And as he's toggling back and forth, you're having a chance to get kind of a sneak peek behind the gate of how we do some of this magic that we bring to life with our members. So we're always finding ways to engage them and keep them energized and excited. Of course, piggybacking on that, we do the month of March as another wellness focused month where we called it Motion Month. Getting out and getting active. At the beginning of the year, everybody's motivated, everybody's excited about their goals for next year. And by March, you're beginning to possibly wane just a little bit. So we introduced this wellness focused bingo card just to help our members. Again, you can do as little or as much as you want. There's no cost to participate. But we were encouraging you to maybe just try a new class, or, if you've never done a fitness assessment, we offer to do them for you free, because we really want to make sure that, you now have time to focus on your wellness, and we really want you to embrace that opportunity with us and let us help you on your journey. And we've done some, we've got some member testimonials that I know Bennett showed a couple of films in the very beginning that, we are very, very proud that we have the team that can help you identify those opportunities, and we can help you on your journey, my apologies. So that's a great one. Right now, we're in the middle of Focus on Fitness. So again, during COVID times, we had to kind of think about how are we going to do this a little bit differently. But there's not an opportunity that we don't see like COVID is just a way to do it better and a way to challenge ourselves. So each and every day, we are giving you either a short new workout that you can do, or a few moves that you can do, healthy dieting tips, nutritional tips. And we complemented that with our live stream. So at the beginning of the month, Dr. Amy did a great program and just kind of doing a reset. Now it's August, and, most of us are kind of already starting to think about the holidays. So how do we reset our health in the month of August? We did a great program with one of our fitness leaders out of Ocala, Florida, where Joan McDonald did one just on the benefits of stretching and balance. We hosted one here in Arizona, again, on balance, flexibility, and mobility. Ashley is a certified yoga teacher, and she did a phenomenal job with that one. Earlier this week, Dr. Sophie, and again, you can kind of see the diversity here. Dr. Sophie did one on understanding CBD oil. This was one of our most widely attended programs last year. We had over 250 households that tuned in, and we had about the same number this year, if not a little bit more, actually. This coming Saturday, we actually have, again, these are live stream virtual classes where we're doing one on dissecting all the eating trends that are out there. There's paleo, and there's vegan, and there's vegetarian, and there's keto. So we're really going to dissect each one of those, and probably a combination is good for you, or the Mediterranean diet. So we're going to take a look at that. And that's, again, a live stream where our members can tune in and ask questions. So it's an interactive session. And then we wrap up the month of August with Dr. Ham with Atrium Health, that is out in our Charlotte area location. And he's going to really talk to our members about how exercise just really impacts your overall health and vitality. So we're excited for him, and he's been with us more than once. So we're very excited to have him back. Then we move into Afterburn. And this is a signature program that is very unique to the Trilogy communities. These are really high intensity classes that are taught in a group environment, so that positive peer pressure is always there. It really works with a monitor to help you really break through some of your personal walls and barriers. You can see in the bottom photo here where there's a member doing some work with weights. So that was one of her goals, was really to increase her physical strength, especially upper body, and she's being assisted there by one of our personal trainers. So, people work as hard as they can. We've got some great support for you there, and really feel that our Afterburn program just allows you to work as hard as you want to and excel as much as you desire. In-person classes are huge in our communities. In-person classes not only are fantastic for that social interaction. Again, positive peer pressure is a really, really good thing. I know for me personally, if I go attend an in-person class, I may try a little bit harder than I would maybe if I was virtually at home. But these classes are amazing. I know Ben is going to pull up Trilogy Lake Norman, and they have a really robust fitness program with dozens of classes per week. Not only are they indoor, but they're also outdoor. They have trail treks. They just do a variety of different things that really give members an opportunity to enjoy those classes. you know, it's water aerobics, it's Zumba, it's spin. And then if you're like I am sometimes, I'd maybe just rather work out on my own. We have a lot of fitness on demand programming. So you can go into our fitness centers and our gyms and utilize that equipment and, you know, get a specialized workout. Like maybe if you're working on a specific area, you just go and work on that area, and fitness on demand could guide you through that experience. And then again, our virtual classes too. So, you know, not only are we indoors and outdoors, but we do a lot of virtual programming. And again, you can see Billy up there at the top is leading a program virtually. You can see in this also is a virtual class. And the second one, that's Pam, who's one of our instructors at Trilogy Summerlin. In the background happens to be our lifestyle coordinator, Lita, who also teaches fitness classes there. And we have done so much of this virtual, and our members have been so appreciative that we have really peeled the onion back and again, exposed ourselves to some different ways of connecting with our members and helping them stay, you know, healthy as they possibly can. Of course, many of our clubs have restaurants, and we're very, very proud of them. So as you can see here, and you can certainly take a look at our menus when you go into our clubs, we've got everything that you can possibly imagine. So you can have everything from cheesy bread, which is one of our great starters. But if you're looking for something a little bit healthier, or you're really being conscious of your diet, we have gluten-free, we have vegan, we have vegetarian. My personal favorite is the strawberry field salad here on the left. Spinach, strawberries, goat cheese, almonds, and balsamic. One of my all-time favorites is that. And then again, on the right-hand side, you can see where we're looking at our market bowls. You know, we follow the trends as well, because we want to make sure that if there's something out there, that we want to stay on the cutting edge as well. So we offer a tremendous amount of variety. You know, we also offer half sizes for those who maybe don't want to eat quite as much at a meal, or we certainly box it up and you can take it home. So whatever you would like, we have it for you, as well as weekly and daily specials in all of our clubs. And I'm going to wrap this up by talking to you a little bit about the interest clubs. This is one of, you know, this is really we're a catalyst for helping you come together, not only in, you know, all these different areas that Ben and I have been chatting with you about today, but our interest clubs are just amazing. We have over 30,000 members, and they all have, you know, unique interests. They want to do things. Like-minded people, you know, like in the top left here, actually Marion moved into the community where I happen to be a lifestyle director in Quintero in Arizona. And she was totally into art, and she did not feel like she was going to fit into one of our communities. Well, she actually in turn started teaching art out of her home in her garage, and really got together a group of folks that just all had the same passion, but had never been given the opportunity to express how they felt about it. So again, we're talking about wellness, but member-led clubs and interest groups also play right into that social and spiritual connection, that journey that you share with others. Twice a year, we do a great thing in our clubs where we actually ask all of our member-led clubs and their leaders to send representation, and we actually set up our spaces. So, you know, maybe you've been thinking about getting involved in the, you know, the art club, or maybe you want to get involved in the bicycling program there. So you can actually, you know, come into our club and talk to those people and learn more about it. And, you know, these are all started by our members. You know, we don't even do this. Like in the lower left, we have a veterans club, wildly popular in our communities. And they go out and they volunteer and they raise money. And again, they get together with like-minded people where they can share their experiences. And we just don't feel like there's many places where you have the chance to do that. And, you know, it just really brings people together. And I guess if I were to say anything about our communities, and I'm kind of like Ben, I get a little choked up every now and then, but, you know, we create places where people just really connect with each other. And Ben alluded to, you know, most of our members will say, I have more friends now than I've ever had in my life. And that just speaks to the way that we weave together all these different components that we feel so attached to and so bonded to. So interest-led clubs are just really, you know, I look around and most of our clubs have been making masks all year and, getting out and supporting their local community with, food drives and school supply drives. And, it just helps invigorate everybody. Everybody wants to contribute and help. So I hope that answers some questions that maybe you had on member-led clubs. In closing, I think I'm going to turn it back over to you, Ben.
Sarah, you were exceptional as always. I really appreciate you taking the time to go through that. And look, I mean, we were over time and we still didn't get to we were kind of the spec on the first part of this. I mean, there's so much more depth that we could go into, and there's just so much more happening. But I think you did a really great job of calling out a few of the things that are really emblematic of what we try to do around wellness. I'll kind of close the circle here and just talk about how we look at whether or not all the efforts we're making are working. So a couple of things we do is we do an annual, in some communities, biannual survey of our members and ask them a number of questions. Some of them are very functional, like you would assume, right? Like, hey, how has the food and beverage experience been? How has the, how are the outdoor recreation facilities, cleanliness, kind of things that you might expect out of a typical survey. And then we also ask some deeper questions as well. So one of the things we're seeing, and I think it's just more in alignment with the trend and the focus both with our own teams as well as with on the customer side, our fitness scores have been consistently climbing each year for the last 4 years. And this is 2016 through 2019. My hunch is 2020, even despite some of the changes we've had to make within our operations reflective of the governmental guidance around COVID, will be going up as well. I think there's a real alignment between our residents and members' focus on what we do and also internally what we want to try to do. So I'm really pleased to see those scores continually getting better. We also asked 3 really simple questions, which is, do you feel healthier? Do you feel like you've had the opportunity to live a healthier life since you moved into Trilogy? 91% of the people in 2019 said yes. Do you think you've had the opportunity to make more new friends since moving into Trilogy? 92% of people say yes. A really basic kind of getting down to it. Have you had the opportunity to live a happier life since moving into Trilogy? 91% of people last year said yes. I mean, there's a lot of headwinds when it comes to progress through life. Every day kind of, bones hurt a little more and muscles are a little more sore and, more things are kind of happening physically. And apparently something's happening above my office, guys. Sorry for the distraction there. What's really nice is in the face of those headwinds, we can do see members that are, healthier, happier, and making more new friends. And we hear it. We get anecdotal evidence in the form of testimonials. By the way, sorry, I should have taken a time out. When I say member, everyone, I'm referring to some places residents, some places homeowners, but member is our term for the people who live within Trilogy. So if that's confusing in any way, I probably should have prefaced that. That's our internal language. It's how we refer to the folks who choose to live within Trilogy. So a member is, it's a proxy for homeowner or resident, if that's something more people are familiar with, just as a aside. So members, homeowners, residents, they've provided us really amazing anecdotal feedback. I mean, again, we do these surveys each year. There is a stack of positive feedback we get and also opportunities to improve, which we always work on. I love a few of these, they basically say, look, 90% of the reason I chose to purchase here was fitness classes. We offer more and a variety, and they couldn't believe how many they had. So really good to see that. And I'll transition here. There are what we've done for the past couple of years is we actually hired an on-staff documentarian. We have so many of these amazing stories that are happening out in our communities that we wanted to capture and share with others. So I will actually toggle over, and there is a Trilogy YouTube page I would encourage people to go to. You can see here on the Blue Star YouTube page, we have the story of Kevin Wallach, one of our members of Trilogy Lake Frederick, and his personal fitness journey. We have Marion, who Sarah mentioned earlier, her life as a solo artist at Encanterra. We have a veterans film. We have a number of these films we've created over the course of time that I think really do a great job of articulating kind of at a great human interest storytelling level, the kind of transformations people are experiencing. So I would encourage people to look for that. And I think Cassidy will be sending some follow-up to all our participants today so they can look at that. Furthermore, we would encourage people to go to mytrilogylife.com, they can go to, and I'll kind of pull this up. If you just go to mytrilogylife.com, which is here, you can see that we have the magazine that we publish each year, and you can read articles about all the things people do. You can go and click into our films about each of these programs we've been talking about. You can explore the communities and the amenities that are available at each. So we would encourage you to do that. And I believe, and this is our final slide. So I really want to thank everyone for joining us today. Obviously, if you want to learn more, there's many ways for you to do that. And I think, Cass, I'm seeing some of the questions come in on the left-hand side, and maybe I can just hit a couple of those, and then maybe you can call out if I miss any. So I know one I've seen asked a couple times is essentially how are we responding to COVID? Basically responding to COVID in whatever ways we can, obviously prioritizing safety and then following all the governmental guidance. So that's different in each location, whether that's statewide or that's countywide or city jurisdiction. We are simply following that guidance. So for example, in say Riverside County, we have a community Trilogy at the Polo Club. Their fitness is available outdoor only. So that's why you see a real heavy programming with water aerobics, outdoor spin, etc. In other communities, we have more freedom to provide classes, and they're doing a more traditional kind of setup. All of them are doing, social distance, potentially reduced capacity, et cetera. So a class that might have one time had a dozen people may have 8 people, for example, and we're just offering it more frequently. Another one I'm seeing is, basically what's included versus where are there maybe extra expenses involved with some of this. So on all the virtual, I would say most of the things we've talked about as it relates to programming, that would be considered kind of inclusive within the general idea of the dues or responsibilities that come along with living in the community. As it relates to individual classes, most clubs have either a la carte or subscription programs for in-person classes. So like a $5 drop-in or anywhere from like $25 to $40 a month to do unlimited classes. That varies location by location. So, any community you go to, they'll be happy to answer those questions and take you through that. Obviously, access to the fitness facilities is included within the dues, and then certainly virtual programming, all of the lecture series, all those things are part and parcel with community residents. I think another one I'm seeing is just, I'm seeing menu questions, just kind of, specific. Do you have this? Do you have that? Most menus are pretty diverse. We definitely, as Sarah said, if you want some cheesy bread and some wings, you can get some cheesy bread and some wings. And we try to hit as much as we can with vegan, gluten-free, vegetarian, non-GMO, try to source as locally as we can when we can. But honestly, we're serving a diverse population of members. So most of it's just variety based. So, we have a few healthy items. We have some things that are, more traditionally associated with going out to eat or whatever. So it changes from location to location. Cassidy, how am I doing?
You are golden.
Okay. What else am I, did I miss anything here on I'm looking through our question queue.
I think I am up to date, Ben, I've just got one more question, and I think.
Okay. Easiest resources, so I showed mytrilogylife.com. So if you think about the way this sets up, so shayholmes.com/trilogy, which a lot of folks on this probably started with. So it's where you learn about, you get your first introduction to the communities and the homes. This is a really great resource if you're trying to evaluate your communities, understand the homes, the floor plans, et cetera, get a sense of what the lifestyle is about. On the other side is what we call My Trilogy Life, which is, as I'm either moving into the community or already in the community, this is what our residents use to get some information. And there's also an opportunity. So if you want to go in and see what I was showing earlier, hey, I would like to validate all this great stuff you're saying actually happens. And I'm interested in a specific community, and I don't want to just know that there's an idea that you have fitness classes. I want to see what those actually are. Anyone at any time can go on to mytrilogylife.com and request guest access to any community. So I could go in and, Ben Kaiholz, my email address, my zip code, and I can do it in real time. And I'm going to say that I'm interested in Trilogy at the Polo Club. I have visited a Trilogy community. I click submit, and I am immediately provided credentials to go in and start to explore that community. So if you're interested in learning more about what's happening in the specific community you're interested in, I would encourage you to do that. Cass, anything I missed?
I think we covered it all.
Okay. Okay. Well, folks, I'm really excited that you're considering the move. There are things I'm sure, not moving is easier than moving. For what it's worth, one person has been around this for 2 decades and seen like a ton of super happy people. The juice is worth the squeeze. People who move in seem really happy. They all just talk about how they wish they would have done it sooner. So I'm not trying to give the hard sales pitch, but if you're teetering on the edge, like, I hope that you give it a really honest consideration. And, I hope if you can find a path to yes, we'd be really excited to have you. And with that, thank you, everyone. Sarah, thank you. Cassidy, thanks for stewarding us along. It's nice to talk to the folks we talked with on chat too. See you, everyone.